Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news, and as I said this afternoon for the Ollie press conference, we're back with a massive game tomorrow, a massive run of games. Fred's been talking about the midfield. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's back for the Atalanta game. He's had his suspension dropped in relation, well not dropped, reduced, so he will get to play. And lots to talk about, in relation to, crisis over. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer seems very relaxed. Is that a good thing? We'll be talking about that and why. Also, it's Friday night, so look, we like to have a bit of a Q&A on a Friday. What would you do if Seb becomes owned and tells you he's scouted to Burnley, says Dima HD? I mean, look, if Seb plays for Burnley, he plays for Burnley. You know, I didn't play for anybody, so it's an improvement, so there you go. Look, first of all, though, it is Friday night, and as you can see, I'll tell you what, I'm loving this tracksuit. It's the new Essentials range. It's got one of them plastic squares thing there and there. Brand new tracksuit from Boohoo that they've sent me. You can get 40% off with the code United Stand. But as always, when Boohoo do an integration, they always do something that's interesting around Manchester United. But on Monday, Boohoo's brand new Active Essential range launches. So if your partner tells you that you cannot wear the same shirt to the gym again as it smells like something died in it, then perhaps it's about time to make use of the United Stand discount code and get some of the awesome new activewear like I'm wearing. As we're doing a Boohoo integration, that means we always do need to find a Manchester United link. And this week, we're looking at which players for United have been the most essential in creating goals. So can the chat guess the top 3 Manchester United players to have provided assists in the Premier League era for Manchester United? So top 3 assist providers for Manchester United in the Premier League era. I've got a couple of clues for you, and as always, the first person I see in the chat gets it right, gets United style congratulations, United Stand. So here are the clues. In order, the nationalities are Welsh, English and Portuguese. So first is Welsh, second is English and third is Portuguese. 2 of the players are now retired and 1 is still playing. None of the players are Cristiano Ronaldo. All of the players have won the Manchester United's Player of the Year award. And I know what the answer is now. Okay, so we've got Okay, and I'm going to make one note here that Cristiano is in 4th place with 46 assists, and I fully expect him to be in 3rd place by the end of the season. He's got 46 assists at the moment. The 3rd place person's got 49. So let's have a look who can get it right first. You've got to get the top 3 right, remember. And the first person I saw was Nabil, who's gone Giggs, Rooney, Nani. So well done with that one. I wouldn't have got that. Well, in fact, I would have got it because I'm reading the answers, but I would not have gone with Nani in 3rd place. So Nani in 3rd place with 49 assists, Rooney in 2nd place with 103 assists, and Ryan Giggs in 1st place with a huge 271 assists. Absolutely mad numbers. But as I said, Ronaldo is in 4th place with 46 assists. There's only 3 behind Nani, so you'd expect him to beat that. As always, big shout out to Boohoo Man. They always want to integrate with what we actually are, which is the United channel. And as always, they've given you United Stand viewers 40% off that you can use by clicking the link in the description and using the code United Stand at checkout. Thanks very much to Boohoo Man. Links in the video description for that as always. And as I said, I'm wearing the tracksuit that they've just sent me, and I really like it. They've gone for this sort of style where it's got like the plastic square with Boohoo Man on there, and where's the other one? There as well. So I really like it. It's comfortable. And at this time of year, you need something comfortable if you're going down the gym or if you're going to go and watch Netflix like me. That's about as much exercise I get at the moment, apart from using my mouth to talk. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Crisis over for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Is it crisis over? I want to get into the chat tonight, but some interesting things to talk about. Now, I did just notice this quote from Fred, speaking on Brazilian duty. We talk a lot about the role of a second defensive midfielder. In Europe, you say it's a box-to-box. I really like to play this. I prefer it. It's my ideal position is to get more involved in the attack. Brilliant. Absolutely. You know what? Absolutely spot on. Well done, Fred. Well done, Fred. He's had a lot of stick this season. I think he's been crap this season. But I love how players, especially when they're on international duty, they drop these hints. I remember McTominay saying this about 18 months ago. I think my best position's a box-to-box. It's the one I like to play. Fred's come out and said it. I like to play box-to-box. Pogba wants to play box-to-box. Donny wants to play box-to-box. Why has Solskjaer provided himself with 4 box-to-box players and no holding midfielders, apart from Matic, who God knows why we can't pick him? But Fred has basically just said, and he got quite a good assist for Neymar, didn't he, last night? But Fred's just basically come out and said, I'm not a bloody holding midfielder. And McTominay said it before in the past. We are banging square pegs into round holes at Manchester United. And I feel sympathy for McTominay and Fred. I always have. They don't pick the team. Of course they're going to go and try and do a job. But this is a specialist job. It's like trying to get a plumber to wash your car. They'll be there with one of them squidgers going like that, with crap all over it. And it's not good. This is not a good idea. And Fred's right in what he's basically saying is, I like to play higher up the pitch. I like to win the ball, but I like to be higher up the pitch and more involved in the attack. And to be honest, when I remember Fred having his best period, which was just before COVID, it was with Matic. Well, obviously Matic would have been holding and Fred would have been box to box. And I think, you know, people write Fred off and say, oh, he's just a load of crap. And I think he has been this season, and towards the end of last season he was very frustrating as well. But it's probably the role we're playing him. Him and McTominay are basically told to just sit deep, and it's not really what they're all about. I don't necessarily think they're good enough to play box-to-box for Man United in a top four side, but it's definitely their position as opposed to this. So, you know, yet another player on international duty has come out and exposed the fact that we haven't got a bloody clue what we're doing in that midfield. And it does come down, I'm sorry to say, it does come down to Solskjaer and his coaches. They've absolutely misunderstood what a midfielder is, and they've totally and utterly screwed it up. And we've heard Ollie say in the past, well, you know, people get obsessed about number 6s and number 8s and number 10s, when actually in my day, people used to do everything. And that's right, we've had Paul Ince on the show. You didn't really have a 6 or an 8. You had 2 midfielders who did that. But that's not today. You know, with all due respect to Ollie and his coaches, who's won the league last year? Man City. Do they have a number 6? Yes. Do they have a box-to-box? Yes. Do they have a more advanced midfielder? Yes. Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne. You know, you've got to have it in the modern game. Hi, Mark. Do you feel like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a person who knows how to motivate his players, says Andres. I think he has got skills in relation to that, yes. Both Ollie and Phelan have said they don't believe in specialist midfield roles. Ollie clearly believes McFred are the best all-round midfielder, says Mark Dobby. But you know what? I've got to be honest, I have to care what they say because they're the manager and they're the coach. But they're wrong. They are wrong. You know, I've watched a lot of football. You've watched a lot of football. I'm not the Manchester United coach. Therefore, Solskjaer and Phelan have to be in a situation where they can say, well, I know more than football than you do. But I would sit there and say to them, well, yeah, you do. But we're dropping points because you haven't got a clue what to do in the midfield. And we are dropping points because of that midfield. I don't care what anybody says. We've been absolutely dominated in most games this season. I'm disappointed in Carrick, not Ollie, says United Adrian. And Michael Carrick really disappointed. He has to realise the errors, says Pom. I want to get into the questions tonight. I definitely do. But as I say, Solskjaer slump is over. You know, on the eve of a massive game tomorrow, I believe we will win. And I believe this slump has to. And look, there's no evidence behind this at all, and I want to know how everyone's feeling tonight. And look, I'm happy to go into any questions you want to go into tonight because it's a Friday Q&A. But I believe it has to be. This has to be. And I know some people are quite reticent for it to be a run of good games, and it's almost, I don't know what your mindset is. I'm intrigued. Is it just you believe we're going to have bad results? Is it that you want us to have bad results? I mean, I sit here in front of you now live, and I'm like, I desperately want us to go and win tomorrow. I desperately want us to beat Atalanta. I desperately want us to beat Liverpool. I desperately want this season to turn into something. You know, Ronaldo back was a dream that I've spoken about on this channel for years and years. You know, and I want to walk down that road tonight where it's like, I can't believe Ronaldo's back at United. It's amazing. I can't believe that we've got one of the best centre-backs in Rafael Varane. I can't believe Marcus Rashford's back fully fit for the first time in 18 months. It's very exciting. Sancho's very exciting. Bruno, Pogba. I want to get on that positivity streak. I want to believe until I can't believe. So, yeah, you know what? Maybe I am being a little bit naive. Maybe I am being a bit wishful thinking. But you know what? Whilst I can be, I want to be. Because I don't want to think that tomorrow we're going to play crap and get beaten. I don't want to think that Liverpool are going to teach us a lesson, or Atalanta we're going to struggle against as well. I want to believe that we can go and be a decent team. You know, I want to be going Sue tomorrow. I want to see a bit of Sue tomorrow afternoon. 3 times will be great. You know, I do want that to happen, and I believe the evidence suggests it will, because every time Solskjaer's been in trouble, we have responded. And I go back to as recently as this time last year where we lost to Istanbul, and you know, we were talking to Pochettino. He goes and beats Everton, and he goes on a ridiculously good run. So I hope and believe that well, I don't believe, I hope that's going to happen. And it feels like that there is that positivity. Look, I wasn't impressed with the press conference today. I thought it was a tame, crappy press conference, but I don't think that's Solskjaer's fault. I think it's the most of the people who are in that press conference. Just, it's a poor press conference. But Ollie did seem quite relaxed, quite smiley. I think the international break came at the right time for him. I really do. I think after taking 1 point from 6 at home against Villa and Everton and scraping Villarreal, if we'd gone straight into another couple of games the next week, I think we were in a bit of trouble. Players have gone off on international duty. They'll come back happy. They weren't happy after that Everton result. And, if you keep people together who aren't happy going to another game, that could grow. And I think Ollie realises, and this is why I'm saying I think the slump might be over. I think that international break has probably saved Solskjaer a lot of problems. Ronaldo would have been pissed off. He's gone off to Portugal. He's scored a hat-trick. He'll be happy. Pogba's gone off to France and won a trophy. He'll be happy. Some of the fringe players that weren't playing have gone off and played. So I think that everyone will come back with a different mentality, and that could be a kickstart that we look back and go, that international break actually really helped us. Mark, your slump will resume when you face us. With Newcastle bought out and soon for us with Spotify and Zidane, you are going to be left behind the big boys, says Zane. Yeah, clearly pissed too early, aren't you? It's only bloody 8 o'clock on a Friday night. Pace your drinks, Zane. It's the stubbornness that's letting Ollie down. He's under pressure to achieve something this season, says Philip Burtonwood. And apologies if you've touched on this. Have you seen Jesse's comments about Jose randomly checking in on players whilst he was here? Refreshing to hear, says Sam. I saw Jesse complimenting Mourinho a couple of days ago. If you had a choice, would you rather go on a good run than go on another bad run, or just go on a bad run to force change? The first just means we keep this cycle going. I'm stuck, says Gordon Murray. Look, bottom line for me is that I want Manchester United to go on a good run. I'm sort of in the position where I can't, nobody ever can predict the future, but I think you try to. I don't want to. I just don't want to. I'm just like, let's see what happens. That's where I am now. I have been in the position before, and I've said it on the channel. It got to a point with me, I think Van Gaal's last game, I was like, I don't really want us to finish it, because we could have got top 4, and I was like, I'd rather we don't finish in top 4, because I think I knew we could get Mourinho if Van Gaal got the sack, and I was like, I remember saying it at the time, I was like, if it means we draw a game and we don't get top 4, I'd rather that happen than win it, because I think it's short-term pain for long-term gain to get Mourinho. And I did say that. I'll put my hands up and I was Van Gaal out for way before anybody, really. It was like 6 months I was Van Gaal out before he got sacked. But this time I'm like, because I've done that in the past, I get it. I get why people want it. But I'm not that. I'm not, if somebody said to me, would you rather we just went and lost the next 4 games to get Ollie out? No, is the honest answer. I don't believe in this short-term pain for long-term gain now. I don't believe that if we sack Solskjaer, we'll be in a better position. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't sack Ollie if we have some bad results, and that's where I am now. I'm sort of like, let's just bloody see what happens. I'm not going to emotionally attach myself to that situation where let's get him out and stuff like that, because I'm like, I don't really believe that this football club's ran well enough to cope. I mean, there's some very interesting. I mean, Abanaf says it's honest. I honestly can't believe Carrick doesn't know what we need in midfield. Does he even get a say in team selection? Says Abanaf Mishra. Well, yeah, he's a coach. He will be involved in the conversation. Of course he will. Absolutely. But I was just going to say there. It's I was reading something today. I can't remember whether it was like from Scholes or someone like that, and it was like United. Ollie will benefit. I can't remember where it was from, but I definitely read it somewhere. Solskjaer will benefit now from the mistakes of the past of the board. Because basically, obviously they got rid of Moyes after 8 months. They got rid of Van Gaal after he won an FA Cup but didn't qualify for top 4. They got rid of Mourinho when the players turned against him and they were miles off top 4. And none of it worked. It didn't. Moyes to Van Gaal didn't work. Van Gaal to Mourinho didn't work, and Mourinho to Ollie. Whilst it hasn't worked, I think United want to give more patience to Ollie than they did with Van Gaal, Moyes or Mourinho. And they definitely have done already, some people would argue. But I think, to be honest, I would expand that point. I think that, yes, I understand. And it doesn't help you if you're Ollie out, I get that. But yes, I understand that, the club are trying to be more patient with this situation than they were with Mourinho or Van Gaal, because they've made changes before and it hasn't happened. So maybe they're thinking, look, when it gets bad, maybe if we stick with it, it might get good. They didn't do that with Mourinho. They didn't do that with Van Gaal. I mean, look, Van Gaal got sacked after winning the FA Cup. I think it was the right choice, but they didn't, they could have stayed with him. He did win the FA Cup and we finished 5th. So they could have stayed with him, even though I didn't think it was the right decision. So I think with Ollie, they are being patient and will be patient. But on top of that, I think it's more than that. I do think it's more than that. I really do think Ollie benefits because he played for the club. I think the club also are very aware that the Glazers are not popular, that Ed Woodward's not popular, that the board is not popular. And if they did sack Ollie, I think they're terrified of what the fallout from that would be, because the club becomes the Glazer club again. Instead, in Ollie, whether you like Ollie or you don't, in Ollie, you've got somebody that is intrinsically linked to United's success because of what he did in, not just in that cup final in '99, but also over many years. You remove that and your club becomes what? Owned by the Glazers again. And it is owned by the Glazers as well. But I've always said this, Ollie is a security blanket for the Glazers, and they don't want to remove that. They really don't. So I think that the going would have to get really rough for them to start thinking about doing anything. Ollie against top six, Jose's Inter, everyone else will Lincoln City, says Roger Benjamin. And there's actually been evidence as Ollie has always started the season on a bad run, the pressure rises and he goes on a run. Not sure, but now's the perfect time to just to go. Look, I do think that's going to happen. And just a bit of news that came in this evening, by the way. You know that Aaron Wan-Bissaka got that red card against Young Boys and was meant to be missing. I think he was going to get a three. I think he was. Well, he's back against Atalanta anyway. I think he got a 2-game ban and it's been reduced to 1, so he missed that Villarreal game. So he'll be back against Atalanta, which I actually think is a really important thing for United, because I think Wan-Bissaka really does help us out a lot. When the going gets tough, Ollie gets rough, Ollie gets. I love doing that. But yeah, look, I can't control how you feel. It's your show. Get into the questions. Let's get into the conversation. But if I could control how you feel, I would say, at least for tonight, have a bit of positivity. Don't be going into tomorrow negative. This is a real opportunity, and there's nothing I'd like more than for us to go and win 3 or 4-0 tomorrow and play good football and take that into Atalanta and Liverpool. Because if we win the next 3, then you've got Spurs before you play Atalanta again and Man City, and there's a bit of momentum. We can take 6 points from the next 2 Premier League games, then, it's still it's always going to be a bad start to the season. And I hate comparing Ollie to Sir Alex, but the season is not over. It isn't over, and I think that's the thing that's in my head tonight, is that, God, there's a lot of concern, and I think it was Paul Scholes said yesterday that I think for United this season now is about showing Man City and Liverpool that they mean business, because they can't win the league now. They've already proved they can't win the league, but it's about staying as close as them to they can. I get that. I do. I didn't think we could win the league before the season started. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't be competing for the league, but I just felt that we would fall short for many reasons. But I don't believe that we're out of the league yet. I think you can look at the evidence and say we've got no chance of winning the league, but we're 2 points off the top. If we were to beat Liverpool and Manchester City and Leicester and Spurs, we'll be 2 points off the top, at least. But we'll probably be top. So we can't put that white flag up now and start saying surrender. We can't do that. There is still an opportunity. If you're in the relegation zone and there's 3 games to go, and you're 2 points from safety, but you've been crap all season, do you go, well, we're relegated? You might think you're going to get relegated, but you've got 9 points to play and a 2-point gap. We have got a massive season in front of us. And I understand that people are very concerned, as am I, that very early in this season, this league title challenge could be very, very, very soon over. And I think I said a couple of weeks ago, I think that by Christmas we'll be double figures off the top, which means, but it's over. But we can't be in that mentality now. And I'm not going to be in that mentality now. And I will give these players and Ollie a chance tomorrow and against Liverpool, because why wouldn't you? You can have your concerns and you can have your doubts, and it's based on evidence, I agree. But there is an opportunity there, and we have got good players. So, look, I wouldn't be surprised. 8 points is what I think we're going to get. Draw against Man City, draw against Liverpool, beat Man City, beat Spurs and beat Leicester. Go to bed, Zane. I'll spank you. Stop using my card to talk nonsense. You're grounded now, naughty boy, says Mrs. Zane Miassi. Until we face Watford, and Ollie talks about the quality of the opposition, and so we have to play McFred, says Roger Benjamin. Look, my trust in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's starting 11 was over a long time ago. You know, even if tomorrow we see Matic and Pogba, I don't think he'll play Matic and Pogba against Liverpool. I think McTominay and Fred will be back. So, you know, I'll put my hands up right now and say if we were to win tomorrow and play well with Matic and Pogba, and everyone will go, this is the team, this is what he's got to do. I guarantee you against Liverpool he won't play Matic and Pogba. So, you know, I don't care how much we win by tomorrow. I don't care how good the team is he picks. I mean, he could pick Donny and Matic and we could win. He won't do it against Liverpool. I don't trust Ollie's team selection at all. But I wouldn't say I trust Ollie, but I do. It will not surprise me if we now do go on a bit of a run, because he's so good at this. And I don't care what anybody says. He is so good at this. The evidence is there. He does get himself into a bit of trouble and then go on a run. And the going gets tough, Ollie gets rough. Mark, what is the point of Pogba playing in the midfield if Ollie is giving him instructions that restrict him from doing what he is good at, says Bradley Clouts. The trouble with Paul Pogba, and I'll show you here. I mean, this is what is this? This is not. No, I don't like this. This is not what I want. We don't like this. Get rid of Lindelof. So that's an ideal United side, isn't it? So you got your back four there, of course. You got your back four. You got Pogba and McTominay, right? You got Bruno. You got your back four. Let's put Rashi over there. Ronaldo's there, and let's pretend it's Sancho, right? Okay, so that's United's team with Pogba in it, okay? So you got your back four, you got Pogba, right? Where Pogba wants to be is here, really. He wants to be allowed to do that. But if he does that, Bruno does that, and McTominay's on his own. Effectively, we've got too many attacking midfielders, really. Bruno and Pogba do work, but Pogba really doesn't want to be supporting McTominay as much as he has to. Now, if McTominay's prime Matic, Pogba can get forward. If McTominay is Rodri, Pogba can get forward. If McTominay is Fabinho, Pogba can get forward. If McTominay is Tchouaméni, Pogba can get forward. But if McTominay's McTominay or is Fred, Pogba can't get forward. And that's the problem with this team. Paul Pogba can only have license to go forward if we play him where Bruno is and drop Bruno, or we play him where Rashford is and we drop Rashford. If you drop him into a midfield two, he's stuck in a midfield two for Manchester United, and that's the problem he has. If you look at the fixtures, Everton have easy games till we meet Watford. We could be fifth and needing wins in Spain versus Villarreal and Young Boys, says Srinvasan. There's lots of ways of looking at it, mate. There is. You're right. There's lots of ways to look at it. I think that league table could be looking very difficult for us by the next international break. But on the other hand, if we were to win most of these Premier League games coming up and take over 8 points, it could be looking quite favourable. What is the point of Pogba playing in the midfield? If we've done that one from Bradley Clouts, haven't we? Thank you very much, Bradley. Thank you very much with that one. What about Lingard? He's a proper red, says Meaty Warrior. And bro, our midfielders are all saying they want to play box to box, but Donny is better than all of them, barring Pogba, says Joshua. Yeah, as I said, if you've tuned in a little bit later, Fred's basically come out on international duty and said that he's a box to box player and that's where he wants to play. McTominay has said it before. Pogba obviously wants to do it. That's where probably Donny's best position is. So we've basically got 4 box-to-box midfielders, an ageing CDM in Matic who won't be given game time, and a number 10 in Bruno. We desperately need a CDM. We desperately needed a CDM 2 years ago. We desperately needed a CDM a year ago. And we desperately needed a CDM in the summer. And we desperately need one now. But for whatever reason, United have gone and spent £74 million on another attacker that we didn't desperately need. I think Sancho has attributes that are very unique, but, you've got Ollie talking this afternoon about we really want Jesse to sign a new contract. What, another wide midfielder? I mean, how many, another wide attacker, how many of those do you want? Or another number 10, how many of them do you want? We've got no bloody holding midfielder. Pogba is world-class, mate, says Esso. And Fred is the out-of-the-box player, says Jarry. And what role did Fred play at his last club, says Ken. He was box-to-box, wasn't he, at Shakhtar? That's what I thought we were getting with him. Francis says we're disrespecting Pogba. In a football sense, he's been disrespected for 6 years. And I know that'll be a controversial statement because, the flip side to this is that a player has his own responsibility. I do agree that Pogba should have performed better for United regardless of where we play him. At times he's been very good, at times he's gone missing. But where I would really, I agree with that. But I also think it's the Juan Mata thing. Juan Mata's played under 4 different managers, and none of them have played him in his best position consistently. And we wasted a player that we bought at 26. But I also think Paul Pogba's been wasted at Manchester United. It amazes me that under 2 managers for 6 years, nobody has got Paul Pogba playing in his best position, because nobody really... I think Ollie did it a little bit when he had Matic playing, but you've got to give Pogba the licence to get forward. You know, you can't rely on Pogba to stay too defensive, in which case you need a real specialist number 6 next to him. The only thing that really excites me is watching Rashford playing great again after his break. Please do not underrate the guy. He is class, says Mario Franco. Well, I'm a big fan of Marcus Rashford, so I don't underestimate him. My only concern about Rashford is that, 1, the expectation might be too big, and that 2, he's so eager. I mean, look at Rashford off-field. Off-field, he's probably the most famous player in England. English player. You know, obviously Ronaldo is now the most famous player, but Rashford's off-field persona is huge. Absolutely huge. Look at all the good work he's done. He's massive. On the field, he's got some catching up to do. I think he's, you know, for the last year and a half, he's not one of the best players in the league. He's struggled because of injury. There's a catch-up element for Rashford there, but what is also very important is the team ethic against the me ethic. And, you know, Rashford cannot be that player who is so eager to impress that he starts becoming about himself. That's not selfishness. There's a lot. I've seen Ronaldo do it, Messi's done it, Neymar's done it, you know, Greenwood's did it a couple of games, Lingard did it in that West Ham game. You know, you become almost obsessed about yourself and scoring goals, and it's a dangerous thing. And Rashford needs to really... I would appreciate Rashford tomorrow if he whipped in 2 crosses for Ronaldo instead of cutting inside and had a shot. You know, he might score with that shot, but, you know, we need to win. We're a team. Can't be about individuals. And, you know, sometimes I think, you know, we saw it with Rooney as well. You come back, you just want to impress. And, you know, I think Rashford will get plenty of time to impress. But that's my only concern, is that, you know, he's so eager to impress that he overdoes things. Just, you know, just play your natural game. You know, if a pass is on, pass it. If a shot is on, shoot, but don't force it. Can we get Garner back, says Mojo? I think that'd be a bad move to get Garner back. He needs to develop in the Championship. Solskjaer says, hi Mark, as per you saying neither are you Ollie out or Ollie in, what do you think given our midfield? How can we win a league given that your choice wins as the league? Don't mind if you've already answered this, but I would love to hear your opinion again, says Solskjaer. And when the going gets tough, Ollie gets rough. That was a super chat, so I had to sing it fade to end. Thank you very much. I don't know what you were saying. I don't really understand what your question was there, Sushrit, but I will answer it, because you're basically saying I'm neither Ollie in or Ollie out. I'm Ollie in. I'm not neither Ollie in or Ollie out. I'm Ollie in. I don't think there is. I don't think you can be one or the other unless you like sitting on the fence, and I don't like sitting on the fence. I am Ollie in, but it's not the same as, you know, I think some people are absolutely blinded by the light. I'm Ollie in. I can see that we're going places, this, that, and the other, and I'm like, well, you need to go to Specsavers. What are you talking about? You know, where are we going then? We're playing the same as last season, and it's not good enough. But, you know, I'm a conscious Ollie inner, but I'm very eyes wide open to why people are Ollie out, and I'm not opposed to being Ollie out, and I might be on the journey to being Ollie out, and I think a lot of people are like that. What I would say is, if I'm sat having a conversation with the Ollie outers, I'd say I completely can see why you are. I'm just not at that point yet. The people who probably frustrate me the most are the more, instead of, you know, the hardcore Ollie outers don't frustrate me as much as the hardcore Ollie inners, because the hardcore Ollie inners are almost, you know, saying how we're playing and the results we've had are fine, and they're not. Like, look at, you know, even if, you know, there are so many strands to this, but we finished second last year. We've added Ronaldo, Varane, and Sancho, and we've had a terrible start. 14 points from 21. So I'm still Ollie in, because I still hope, and hope is the word, not belief. I still hope we can, you know, for these next 4 games are massive. You ask me in the next international break, and I might be at the point where I just go, it's not going to work. He's got to go at some point, but I still harbour hope. But so I am Ollie in. But, you know, that can change. And I'm certainly not going to sit here and tell you you're an idiot if you're Ollie out. No. You know, I think that my eyes are wide open to the issues. I just don't want to... The reason for me I'm not Ollie out, there's plenty of reasons, but one of the big reasons for me is I just don't want the cycle again. I really don't see a manager that's going to come in and change it. And that doesn't mean that a manager shouldn't come in. because there's plenty of managers I can think of that would bring a better coaching team than the one Ollie's got, and that's a big tick in the box. But I don't like the regime above the manager at Manchester United. I don't think when you've got people who are in charge, you don't care whether you win. I don't think that helps. And they've had 4 managers now. Why can't it be 5, 6, 7? So I just think the best scenario for us is that Ollie does turn it around and we do win a title with Ronaldo, etc. That's still my hope, because I think it's the best and quickest route to success. If another manager comes in, they're going to want 2 or 3 years to rebuild in the way that they want to, and then in 2 or 3 years' time, they might not be good enough either. So, look, I appreciate I'm basically on my hands and knees begging, but praying, but you know that's where I am, and I think some people are still just hoping. I'm hoping we're going to win tomorrow. I'm hoping we're going to win against Liverpool. Mark, I can't agree with Matic is old. Enrique plays an ageing Busquets for Spain in a high tempo and pressing system. It's all down to coaching, says Saham. But it's not, Saham. It might be, but it's not, because Cristiano Ronaldo is still one of the best players in the world, and Ronaldo and Rooney sat in a tracksuit coaching Derby. They're the same age. Rooney's been finished for years. Ronaldo's been one of the best players in the world for years. Just because somebody is around the same age doesn't mean that they're still playing. You know, I agree that Matic's age should not be a necessary reason for him not to be playing week in, week out. But that doesn't mean that Nemanja Matic's body hasn't slowed down and he can't play 2 or 3 games a week. I don't know what the truth is about Matic, but I was told it about 8 months ago, and I was told it again in the summer, that Matic can't play 2 games a week. And the evidence is there that he can't. I wish he could. The truth is, Ollie wants to accommodate his favourites. He wants his Roy Keane on the pitch and his Fred on the pitch as well, says Weenie. His Roy Keane is McTominay, by the way. I was told that about 3 weeks ago. Whether you agree with that or not, he sees McTominay as his Roy Keane. Pep at United would not win the league, to be honest, says Sin Games. I think that's a great question. Do you think Pep Guardiola would win the league with this Manchester United side? And honestly, I think if you're Ollie out, you're going to go, yes, of course he would. But pragmatically, honestly, I don't know. I don't know, because I know how Pep plays football, and I'm not sure the players are there for Pep to win the title. Where's his Fernandinho? Where's his Rodri? If Matic can't do it, who's going to do it? Now, he might grab hold of Fred and turn him into the player, because he did want Fred. And maybe Fred becomes his Fernandinho. That would be the thing for me. If Pep had a player within that United squad that he could turn into a Rodri or a Fernandinho, and coaching could do that, potentially, they could win the league. But I actually think the manager that would get us closer to the league is probably Klopp, because Klopp style of football at Liverpool is the closest I've seen to Sir Alex Ferguson prime. So, and that would be United DNA. So I don't think there's any guarantee. I don't think you could say if Pep or Klopp were manager of United, we'd definitely win the league, because that's disrespectful to Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea, who are all capable of winning the league. I think the problem is at the moment, and we can't judge it, is how far is Ollie going to be off winning the league with this team? If in May he's 20 points off winning the league with this squad, I will categorically sit there and say that's crap. And yeah, I'd expect Pep or Klopp or Tuchel with this squad to be 5 points off the top at most. So that's the thing for me. It's not as simple as saying Pep would win the league with this team. It's as simple as saying Pep would challenge for the league with this team. And I agree with that. And challenging for the league, you could win the league. That's what Ollie needs to do. Mark, I know you said you're Ollie in as I am, but if you were offered Zidane, Conte or Poch right now, would you take one, says Shane? Yeah, great question, Shane. Thanks for the super chat. If you want to do super chats, you can do that through the $sign. I mean, I know most of you would say yes. If I was offered, I think I'm changed. I think I'm going to be called a flip flop here. You know what? So Zidane can be manager from tomorrow for the next 3 years. I mean, that's a very hard thing to say no to, by the way, because I believe Zidane he's not Pep and Klopp, because Pep's at Man City and Klopp's at Liverpool, and they're a big rival. Zidane hasn't managed in England. Zidane has won 3 Champions Leagues in a row at Real Madrid. Zidane is a very good coach. If you're offering me Zidane to take over from Ollie tomorrow, I'm going to have a very long think about it. The only thing that stops me from saying yes is, and this happens a lot with Ollie, is that what if Ollie's going to go on a big run and we never make any mistakes again? Now the evidence is that we will. So I think you know, I'd lean towards, yeah, I would take Zidane tomorrow and sack Ollie. I would, because I think that I'd be intrigued what that would happen. But I also am like, you know, that's not going to happen. So I'm happy to give Ollie a little bit more time. But it's, yeah, I think you'd have to, wouldn't you? Well, no, you wouldn't have to. Some people wouldn't. Evening, Mark. Maybe the Chelsea model for running a football club is the way we should go, except I doubt Glazers would appoint correct people nor fund it, says Andy and Bruno. But the Chelsea model compared to the Manchester United model, Andy and Bruno, Manchester United's model is make money, take it out of the club, keep us in debt. The Chelsea model is not about making money. It's about a play toy for Abramovich for Chelsea to win things because he likes football. Abramovich likes football. And we can talk about Man City and we can talk about the new Newcastle owners, but one thing is very clear about Abramovich. He loves watching football and he wants his Chelsea side to win. And, you know, over 10 years, we've watched Chelsea, whether they're playing United or not, at Stamford Bridge, and it will pan to Abramovich with his family in his box watching the game. And, you know, he's like that. He really wants, he likes and enjoys football and he wants to win. He's not using Chelsea as a way to make money. If he was, they'd be out of that stadium a long time ago. They wouldn't sign the players that they do. So the model, the Glazers can never replicate the Abramovich-Chelsea model because Abramovich just wants Chelsea to win trophies, and they've won loads of them. Loads of them. The Glazers want to make money out of this club. And, you know, that's not speculative. That's fact, isn't it? Happy Dussehra to you and your family. Would love you to visit Kolkata during Durga Puja. It's buzzing. Congratulations for the awards as well, says Just Football. Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. And yeah, thank you very much for the kind messages, and I'm throwing them back to you as well. If Pep was manager, he would be... in fact, if you want to vote for us, by the way, Football Supporters Association have got an awards ceremony at the end of the year. I've dropped it in the third paragraph in the description. You can vote for us in the fan media section. So if you click that link, and you have to put your top three. So, you know, I'd say United Stand, That's Football, and maybe Anfield Agenda or something like that. But if you can be asked. Links in the chat there to vote for us. Let's see if we can win another award. If Pep was manager, he would make sure the club sign a CDM before Sancho. He can't guarantee Sancho game time, but needs a CDM, whilst Ollie chose Sancho, says Arjun. Well, I agree with you on that. Maybe that's right, maybe it's wrong, but I do agree with you. Hi Mark, if Ollie isn't going to do, if Ollie isn't going, do you think it makes sense to add Mullenstein or Quares back? Mullenstein was key in 2013, and Quares and Ronaldo worked well, says the Beast. You know what? I might be a little bit controversial here. There is no doubt that René Mullenstein and Carlos Quares are really good coaches. You know, there's no doubt about that. But Mike Phelan was a good assistant coach to Sir Alex Ferguson, and a lot of people don't think he is anymore. Do you not think that we as a football club should be more in touch with the now and forward thinking? Why would you go back for Mullenstein or Quares when it's been many years since they were at Manchester United or coaching at the Premier League top level? Do you not think there might be a coach out there? You know, in a footballing sense, it's a little bit like going and buying Busquets to sort your midfield position out, instead of going and buying, you know, an Ndidi or a Declan Rice, because or maybe a Tchouaméni, who's not as high profile as an Ndidi or a Declan Rice. Would you rather have Busquets or Tchouaméni? And I think that's sort of what I feel about Mullenstein or Quares. There's no doubt in their quality, but are they yesterday? And we need to be involved in today. I mean, look at Mourinho. As recently, when did Mourinho win the title with Chelsea? Was it 4 years, 5 years ago, 6 years ago? In the last 3 years, it's been proven that Mourinho fell off. So football's changed a lot in the last 6 years. Mourinho cannot win consistently to get titles in the Premier League era anymore. But 10 years ago, 6 years ago, he could. Coaching's moved on as well. I would rather we went and got an assistant coach and another coach from a team in the Premier League that is playing good football. What's wrong with getting a Brighton coach if they're intrinsically linked in why Brighton are good, or an Everton coach? You know what I mean? I think that United need to be forward thinking and in the now. So I hope that explains why I probably would be a bit concerned about going and getting a coach back that we had 5-10 years ago. I think we should get Fever back to start out the medical side, says Roger Benjamin. Do you think, could we play Tellez as our holding midfielder? Oh, Jack. Thanks for the super chat, Jack, but we're not doing that tonight. And the reason we're not doing that is because we can all turn somebody into a CDM. You know, I personally think Dean Henderson's not going to get in goal anymore, but he's got good distribution, so why don't we play him as a CDM? And people will laugh, and I am taking the piss, but it's as fanciful as Lindelof or Tellez. I don't know why people spend time thinking about turning somebody into a CDM who's not a CDM. Ollie doesn't think he's short of a CDM. He just picks people there that we don't want him to. He's never going to play Lindelof as a CDM or Tellez as a CDM. He thinks Fred and McTominay are. You're thinking of those drastic actions because you don't like what he does. But he does. There you go. Could put Maguire on penalties, says Cody Jones. Yeah. Could put Ronaldo in goal. Donny ain't going to play, Daddy. He ain't going to play. Would you rather have Rafa Benitez as coach or Ollie, says TalkSport? I would rather have Ollie as coach. I don't really want Ollie to go at the moment. I want to see what happens over the next few weeks. And of course, you know, the way football is and the conversation and social media is happening all the time and people are having chats about things all the time, that allows you to be able to go, I'd get rid of Ollie right now. But come on, let's call a spade here. He isn't going to get the sack. And we are about to play 4 games in 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks on Sunday, 3 weeks on Saturday, I think it is, that we play. 3 weeks tomorrow, I think we play Man City. 4 games in 3 weeks. It works because tomorrow, the next week, the next week, the next week. So it's 3 weeks till we play Man City. In 3 short weeks, we'll have played 4 Premier League games. You'll know. And whatever you say tonight about, oh, I'd sack him, I'd do this, I'd keep him, I wouldn't take this, I would take that. In 3 weeks' time, there's nowhere to hide. Like, there's nowhere to hide tomorrow. There's nowhere to hide against Liverpool. There's nowhere to hide against Spurs, and there's nowhere to hide against Man City. And if you lose any of those games badly, the pressure will still be there. He's got to relieve the pressure. You know, beat Leicester, lose to Liverpool. The pressure's as bad as it is tonight. Lose to Leicester, lose to Liverpool. It's even worse. Beat Leicester, beat Liverpool, lose to Spurs, lose to City. The pressure's back where we are now. So it's a 4-game series for me. You know, you win tomorrow, great. Let's go to the next step. But you know, you could beat Leicester, Liverpool, Spurs, and get hammered by City. 9 points from 12. He ain't going to get the sack off that, but people will still be going, well, he's just proved he's not good enough again. I'm treating these next 4 Premier League games and the 2 Champions League games against Atalanta as, you know, they're a collective. I'm not going to get carried away off one result, whether it's a loss or a draw. I'm not, or a lose or a win. I won't get too carried away because, you know, you've got to look at it as a collective. Hi again, Mark. Voted for United stand on the FSA, mate. You keep up the good work and positivity. Thanks, Andy and Bruno. Thank you very much for doing that. We've got Jay, who's been a member for 10 months. He says, I don't feel the best coming up for United, but no matter what happens in the next few months, I just really want to beat Liverpool. Yes. Look, I think Ollie hit the nail on the head. You know, I think one of United's big problems has been, and it goes beyond Ollie, it goes beyond Mourinho, and it goes beyond Van Gaal, and it goes all the way to Moyes. This is an 8-year issue that no manager has been able to solve. I remember Van Gaal taking us to Wanfield, and winning. You know, Juan Mata. Like, we have beaten good teams for 8 years. Where we've gone wrong is the Huddersfields and the Newcastles and the Burnleys and the Sheffield Uniteds and the Aston Villas. This has always been our problem. Are we playing any of those teams over the next 4 games? Not really. I mean, Spurs are still considered to be a tough side. Leicester are considered to be and are a top 6 side in the last 2 years. And obviously Liverpool and Man City are title contenders. There is no Villa, Everton, Burnley in there. And these are traditionally the games that Ollie does quite well in. And therefore the players. Our players can't be trusted in the Crystal Palaces and the Southamptons. But I feel in these games, they click. Oh, it's a tough game. And they click. And we always have done under Ollie. Now, I agree with some people who go, well, no, the luck's up this time. It's not going to work. And maybe that is going to be the case, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't think so. I think that you're going to see a bounce back. Bit off topic, but with Tyson Fury wanting a boxing match at Old Trafford, do you think we could get some development of the stadium to be capable of this? Says My Big Melons. I think Old Trafford could still hold a boxing match anyway. I think that the signings we made this summer changed fans' mentality. We just can't stand Ollie's excuses anymore. And how can you blame us? Please, Ollie improves, says Mario Franco. I think that's a great point, Mario. I think... Again, I can't remember. I've read so many different things today from Scholes and Neville and other people. But I think it was Neville. If it wasn't, I apologise. I think somebody said Ronaldo has actually heaped pressure onto Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because with Ronaldo here, it was Gary Neville, I'm pretty sure it was. With Ronaldo here, there's no time to wait with Ronaldo. You've got to deliver now. And I think with Ollie, he could always come out in a press conference and go, you know what, we're Progress FC, we're getting there. But with Ronaldo, he wants to win now. And if you're not winning now, you know, the media think it, the fans think it, the players think it, the board think it. You know, Ronaldo's for now. He's like a Tom Brady, isn't he? You bring him in to win the Super Bowl. You bring Ronaldo in to win the league or win the Champions League. And if you're nowhere near it, like you were last year, hold on a minute, why aren't we anywhere near it? Who's the manager? And so Ronaldo does bring pressure, even though Ronaldo's not there going, Ollie, you crap, get rid of him. Ollie, you know, Ronaldo is playing for Ollie. He wants Ollie to do well. But Ronaldo, just because of who he is, it'd be the same with Messi, it'd be the same with Neymar. But, you know, they bring that pressure because, you know, look at Pochettino at PSG. He's got Messi, Mbappe, Neymar. The pressure there is to win the Champions League. Should they win the Champions League? They should be a contender for it, but there's a few other clubs that go, we'd fancy it as well. And it's the same with Man United. We have to challenge for the league. If we don't challenge for the league with Ronaldo and the team we've got, Ollie's under huge pressure. So the Ronaldo deal is fantastic. And we said this when we brought Ronaldo in. Ronaldo is a fantastic signing for Manchester United because he becomes us in the dressing room. He becomes us on the pitch. He is impatient. He wants to win now. He's not here for Progress FC, you know, heading in the right direction FC, fine margins FC. He's here to win now. And that automatically does put pressure onto Ollie. Mark, one of my mates asked me if Joachim Low is a good choice for United, and I couldn't answer him back. I don't know why I couldn't answer him back. So, I don't know. I mean, look, some of his football's good, but I don't know what the right answer would be if Ollie was to leave. Ollie does well when he can counter-attack against big teams, but struggles against weak teams who sit backs against him, says Threefold Path. Thank you very much for the super chat there. But I do just want to say as well, that, you know, I've touched on it before. There are some idiots out there, and I don't use that word lightly, but there are some idiots out there saying that Ronaldo is part of the problem with United this season. Well, Ronaldo wasn't here when we played against Southampton, and we were very lucky to get a point. He wasn't here when we were very lucky to get a win against Wolves. Granted, he has been here since Newcastle game, but absolutely not. Absolutely not. You cannot look at Juventus problems or the way Real Madrid played with Ronaldo and say United are struggling because they've got Ronaldo. You can't look at Ronaldo and say he doesn't press from the front, that's why we're having problems. Did we create a lot of chances for our number 9 last year? No. Did we struggle against the low block last year? Yes. Did we win a lot of games last year by fine margins, FC? You know, there's a late block and we win by a goal. You know, we're 2-0 down at half time and we win 3-2. Yes, we did. Did we play with a back 6 a lot last year and counter-attack? Yes. Have we done that a bit this year? Yes. You know, a lot of the problems of last year are the problems of this year, and we didn't have Ronaldo last year. And we didn't have Ronaldo against Wolves and Southampton where we struggled either. So to say that Ronaldo is part of the problem at United is ridiculous. It's stupid. He might be a problem. I'm not saying it's impossible. But at this point, he's not a problem for United. I think he could become a problem because Ollie has got too many people to keep happy, but you have to keep Ronaldo on the pitch all the time. But yeah, the problems we've got are not because of Cristiano Ronaldo. Mark, you ain't 6 foot. Stop telling lies. I've seen you, says Keenan. I'm 6 foot, mate. I am 6 foot. You're living a lie. I'm sorry, but there you go. I actually measured myself a couple of weeks ago because there's so many people in this industry who just seem to be taller than me. And I was like, have I shrunk? Because I was 6. I've always been 6 foot. We got the tape measure out. We measured both. Still 6 foot. Mark, Ollie does have the United DNA at the minute. Do not attack, says Daniel Longbottom. I'll tell you what, that's a good one. That is a good one. United DNA. United do not attack. Very good. Very good, Daniel. I suspect that's going to get used far and wide now. Well done. Well done. Levin's huge. Yeah, he's absolutely massive. As I said on my FIFA stream this afternoon, Levin is as big as Tyson Fury. That if Levin could box, bloody hell. I think he's like, he's either 6'9" or 6'11". He's massive, absolutely massive. But the thing is, he looks good for it as well. He's got a good, like, he's not fat or anything like that. He's got a good, what's the word? Not posture, physical. I don't know what you call it. Like he's strong, big. He's 6'8". Good frame. That's what I meant. White Owl. Yeah, he's got a good physique. That's it. Physique. He's built well. Yeah. Ronaldo loves trophies as they will lead him to the Ballon d'Or. Only Buttons can think he doesn't need them. Laugh my arse off, says Joey. And Mark, Ollie won't survive these hard fixtures. Remember when we lost to Leipzig, he brought in McFred to change the midfield. He needs to do the same for these upcoming fixtures. We've been suspect all season with McFred, says Awu. Well, look, I'm really excited about the game tomorrow. Of course, we'll have a watch along for it. And as David says, he's got a good build. We'll have a watch along tomorrow. Team news, obviously. 3 o'clock kickoff UK time, so we'll be live just before 2. Massive game. I expect us to win, and I want some positivity. You know, the time for talking is over. The time for excuses is long over. It's deliver now. Is it deliver good football? I think we might be asking for too much. I'd like us to play good football tomorrow. We certainly need to win. And I can't make any guarantees that we're going to play good football, but I do think we will win. Because if we don't win, I think things could go bad to worse. And look, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to. I do want to say this. The players are with Ollie. They are with Ollie at the moment. I think there are some frustrated players, but they are with him. If you don't win tomorrow and then you struggle against Liverpool in the following week, things start to go bump in the night. Because I think that players start to look at it and go, we're drifting here. This ain't good enough. I'm not here for this, and then it could become a problem. I'm not saying the players are going to turn, but you know, you don't even have to look at United. Look at any club. When things start to go south, players start to think, why is it going south? But that's why it's so important that we do well in these next few games. Anyway, look, thanks everybody for watching. Really enjoyed it. Remember, boo-hoo, man. New stuff out. I'm loving these little emblems here and here. My new tracksuit. Links in the video description. 40% off. Boohoo Man, thank you very much. The code United stand. Tomorrow, let's hope we're not Boohoo Man tomorrow. Let's hope we're not booing. Both booing or crying. Or booing Ollie or anything like that. We don't want to see any of that. We want to see a positivity tomorrow. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Have a great evening. And let's at least try and be positive about tomorrow. And hopefully we can get a result. I mean, it'd be nice to be watching Match of the Day tomorrow night with Ronaldo scoring a hat-trick, wouldn't it? It's not impossible. Let's do it. Thanks for watching. Come on, let's do it. Yeah, come on. Yeah, you know, come on. Yeah, I'm here. Come on. Yeah, let's do it, man. Come on, let's do it. Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all later.